Every now and again, us regular folk, just working away in our backyard workshops, we come up with some great ideas. Maybe they aren't world-changing, humanity uplifting ideas, but great ideas nonetheless. A few years back, I had my own big brain idea. The Woodfathers super simple single blade box joint jig for the table saw. Yes, it needs a better name. So I'm going to rechristen it. From now on, it's going to be known as Woodfathers jig. And with almost zero setup, Woodfathers jig will take you from this to this in just a few minutes. Woodfathers jig can be built in one afternoon, even out of scrap wood. It's customizable, it's easy to build, and the most important thing is it works so well. If you don't believe me, just speak to one of the hundreds, if not thousands of people who have already made their own Woodfathers jig from my original plans. Although to be fair, I don't know how you're going to contact them. So the jig sits on a sled which rides back and forth in your miter slots. There's a detachable sliding fence here, which is what you clamp your workpieces to. Now the back of the fence has a key. That key limits the sideways movement by way of the joint pattern that you've laid out on this platform. So this key represents your blade. You make multiple cuts for each finger. I recommend left side, right side, and then carve out the center. Once you've done one finger, you just lift the key up and over into the next one and carry on. The best thing is the pattern here can be anything you want. Here I've cut up some 16mm material, so I'm going to cut 16mm fingers, but if I wanted to swap that out for some 6mm material, I would get 6mm fingers. Let me break down the most important part of Woodfathers jig, the key. Now the key is crucial to your final fit. It needs to be the width of your blade's kerf, or for best results, just a whisper thicker. No more than a whisper. For this particular blade that I've got in the saw right now, I found that this drill bit is the perfect size. However, for different blades that I've had, I've also used machine screws or nails. And you're not limited to them. Other people have also had great results using little angled metal brackets that they've had lying around. Allen keys, they've also taken bolts and filed down one edge to make it the perfect size. People even use short lengths of hardwood, which are cut precisely to their kerf. I think the easiest method probably is a short length of metal, so a drill bit or a screw or something like that. And all you need to do is just drill an undersized hole for it and jam it in so it doesn't move. Then you're done. Now, if your joint is too loose, then that means that your key is too thick. So take a file and knock off one edge just a tiny bit and then make another test cut and then see how you go. On the other hand, if your joint is too tight and it just won't go together, or you've really got to jam it in, then your key is a little bit too thin and you need to pad it out a little bit. So either find something different, or you can even put a tiny bit of tape around it. I've done that in the past. Now you might look at this and say that my joint's a little bit too loose. Once you put glue in there, it's going to swell up slightly, so I don't like them to be too tight. If you like them tighter, just change your key. This is how I like mine. It might take a little bit of trial and error to get that perfect key, to get that perfect fit that you're after. However, once you've found the actual perfect key, that's it, you're done. You know that it matches with that blade and you never have to worry about switching it out again. As for the setup, well, it's quite simple. First, make sure that your pattern is in place with zero play left to right. You need this to be quite stiff. That's what she said. Anyway, get one of your workpieces and butt it right up against the fence there. Then insert a spacer, and this spacer is going to be the exact width as the same as the pattern that you've got at the back there. And then get your second piece. 2 clamps makes everything nice and tight. Now, if all goes well, straight in. That's pretty good. If you want the best results with Woodfather's jig, you're going to want to use a blade that has a flat tooth grind on it. However, if you've only got an angle cut blade like I currently do, that just means that you just need a little bit more side to side action, or you can clean it up with the chisel at the end. If you want to, you could also extend this front platform so that you could cut 4 pieces at once. Now personally, I just don't do that. I think when you've got 4 there, it's a little bit too much material and it just feels a little bit harder to push it through, so I get a little bit more accuracy when I just do 2 at a time. But there's nothing stopping you from customizing it like that. The plans are available to buy on my website right now. It is the very first link down below in the description that you want to hit.